Welcome all the devotees for Bhakti Shastri class. We begin the prayers. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनासहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी निति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे नमो महावदन्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नाम्ने गौरत्विषे नमः हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमोऽस्तुते तप्त काञ्चन गौराङ्गे राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरि वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे कृष्णा. So we continue our study of Shri Upadeshamrit, the nectar of instruction. Last time we completed text number 8. तन्नामरूपचरिता ऋषिकीर्तनाम स्मृत्यो क्रमेण रसना मनसि नियोज्य तिष्ठन् व्रजे तदनुरागी जनानुगामी. So Rupa Goswami told that we need to practice devotional service, especially spontaneous devotional service, by Tishthan Vraje, staying in Vraja. Now, Vraj Mandal is a very big place, vast land. So question may come, where exactly should one stay in Vraja to practice spontaneous devotional service? To answer that question, Rupa Goswami has composed this text number 9, where he's going to explain us the hierarchy of various holy places. So before we begin, I'd like to seek blessings of Sri Rupa Goswami, who actually wanted to stay with Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He was having a very flourishing career, but he was very, very desperate to give up all his material engagements and engage full time in service of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He even went to Jagannath Puri, but Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had instructed him to stay in Braj. So a couple of times he came to meet Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, but most of his life he stayed in Vrindavan Dham, carrying out the instructions of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And we get to know about uh, how they were staying, in what mood they were staying in Vrindavan from the Shad Goswami Ashtakam written by Srinivas Acharya. So he writes, glorification of Vrindavan. कूजत कोकिल हंस सारस गणा किरणे मयूराकुले नाना रत्न निमद्द मूल विटपा श्री युक्त वृंदावने. राधा कृष्ण अहर्निशं प्रभजतौ जीवार्थदौ यौ मुदा वन्दे रूपसनातनौ रघुयुगौ श्रीजीवगोपालकौ. So it's actually staying in Vrindavan, which was filled with uh, beautiful birds, Kochata, Kokila, Hamsa, Sarasagana, and peacocks, and so many other divine uh, beings. In their presence, under the Kalpavriksha, Rupa Goswami and other Goswamis, they would perform their devotional service. In text 7, Srinivasacharya writes, Radha Kunda Tate Kalinda Tanaya Tire Cha Vamshi Vate Premonmada Vashad Sheshadashaya Grasto Pramatto Sada. So he was also staying in Radha Kund and Kalindi Tanaya Tira. He was also staying at the banks of Yamuna. And there they were Premod Madhava Shasha Desha Shisha Dashaya. They were actually uh, Prem Unmad. They were mad in love of Radha and Krishna. And in the eighth verse also he says, Hey Radhe Vraja Devi Ke Chalarite Hinanda Suno Kuta Shri Govardhana Kalpapada Patale Kalindi Manye Kuta Goshanta Viti Sarvato Vrajapure Ke Der Mahavimana Vande Rupa Sanatana Raghuyugo Shri Jiva Gopala. So the six Goswamis, especially Rupa Goswami and then Raghunath Das Goswami, they chose to stay in Vrindavan. And in Vrindavan, uh, a very worshipable place for them was Sri Govardhan. And in Govardhan also, the topmost holy place, Sri Radha Kund. So that is the place where one should be residing for practicing devotional service. And Srila Prabhupada also, after retiring from his family life, he went to Vrindavan. He stayed in Seva Kunj almost for 6 years, prepared himself for preaching all over the world. And later also in the last phase of his life, he came back to Vrindavan. He stayed in Vrindavan. So all these acharyas, they are showing us by their example how staying in Vrindavan is such a vital aspect. One of the five, the topmost five uh, limbs of the 64 limbs of devotional service given to us by Rupa Goswami. One of that is Mathura Vas. So we'll discuss about this aspect today with the blessings of Rupa Goswami and Srila Prabhupada will begin our study of text number 9. And recite the verse. This verse is in a different meter than the meter in which we have been reciting the previous verses. Vaikunthajanito vara madhupuri tatrapi rasotsava
व- वैकुण्ठजनितो वरा मधुपुरी तत्रापि रासोत्सवात्
Vrindaranyamudar Tatrapi Govardhana
वृन्दारण्यमुदारपाणिरमणात् तत्रापि गोवर्धन
Radha Kundamihapi Gopulapate Premamrita Plavana
राधाकुण्डमिहापि गोकुलपते प्रेमामृताप्लावना
Kuryadasya Virajato Giritate Sevam Viveki Naka
कुर्यादस्य विराजतो गिरितटे सेवां विवेकिनका
Vaikunthat, than Vaikuntha, the spiritual world. Janitaha, because of birth. Vara, better. Madhupuri, the transcendental city known as Mathura. Tatra api, superior to that, Rasa Utsavat. because of the performance of the Rasa Leela. Vrinda Aranyam, the forest of Vrindavan. Udarapani, of Lord Krishna. Ramanat, because of various kinds of loving pastimes. Tatra api, superior to that. Govardhana, Govardhan Hill. Radha Kundam, a place called Radha Kund. Iha api, superior to this. Gokulapatehe, of Krishna, the master of Gokul. Prema Amrita, the nectar with the nectar of divine love. Aplavanat, because of being overflooded. Kuryat, would do, asya, of this Radha Kund. Virajataha, situated. Giritate, at the foot of Govardhan Hill. Sevam, service. Viveki, who is intelligent. No, not. Kaha, who. The holy place known as Mathura is spiritually superior to Vaikuntha, the transcendental world, because the Lord appeared there. Superior to Mathurapuri is the transcendental forest of Vrindavan because of Krishna's Ras Leela pastimes. And superior to the forest of Vrindavan is Govardhan Hill, for it was raised by the divine hand of Sri Krishna and was a site of his various loving pastimes. And above all, the super excellent Sri Radha Kund stands supreme, for it is overflooded with the ambrosial nectarian praying of the Lord of Gokul, Sri Krishna. Where then is that intelligent person who is unwilling to serve this divine Radha Kund, which is situated at the foot of Govardhan Hill? So, Vaikuntha, superior to Vaikuntha is Madhupuri. Madhupuri is also Mathura. Why? Janitaha, because it is a birthplace of Lord Krishna. But superior to Mathura is Vrindavan, Vrindaranyam. Why? Because of Rasotsavat, because the festival of Ras Leela took place there. Superior to Vrindavan is Govardhan. Why? Because Udarapani Ramanat, Krishna, who is also known as Udarapani, Udar is broad, Pani means hand. So Udarapani Ramanath, he did his Raman, he did his pastimes at the foothills of Govardhan. So Govardhan is still superior, and superior to Govardhan is Radha Kund. Why? Because Prema Amrita Aplavanat. The nectar of Prem is overflowing there at Shri Radha Kund. Kuryadasya virajato giritate sevam vivekina. Who is that intelligent person who will not be willing to not just stay at Radha Kund, but serve such topmost holy place as Radha Kund after hearing the glories of Radha Kund? So there is very short purport by Srila Prabhupada, in fact, only one page to this chapter. We'll read that and then begin discussion. Srila Prabhupada writes, the spiritual world is three-fourths of the total creation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and it is the most exalted region. The spiritual world is naturally superior to the material world. However, Mathura and the adjoining areas, although appearing in the material world, are considered superior to the spiritual world because the Supreme Personality of Godhead Himself appeared at Mathura. Okay, maybe we can have some discussion on this first, then we'll move further. So Prabhupada begins by saying, the spiritual world is how many times the material world?
Three times.
Three.
Three-fourth.
Yeah. So total creation, three-fourth is the spiritual world, one-fourth is material world, or the three times of the material world is spiritual world. Now this may give a feeling that is spiritual world a limited place in that case because we are able to measure it with respect to material world. Okay, material world is X, spiritual world is 3x. Material world we know it is limited. So will that not make spiritual world limited? So is spiritual world a limited place or it is unlimited place?
It's unlimited, but I think that's just for reference. It's that big.
Okay, correct. It is just for reference. It is that big. So first time when I got this question, this Chaitanya Chandra had given very nice answer to this because I tend to think sometimes logically, and this kind of things may not make logical sense. So he mathematically answered it very nicely. He asked, how many numbers are there total in mathematics? Infinite. Okay, total numbers are infinite. How many odd numbers are there? Infinite. How many even numbers are there? But with respect to total numbers, what is the proportion of odd numbers? Half, correct? The total numbers are whatever, and but even numbers are half. Odd numbers are half. But this proportion doesn't make total numbers limited quantity. It still remains infinite. So obviously there can be many arguments to this. One can say, oh, material world is limited. So that way spiritual world is in its proportion should be limited. But here, when it is said that it's three times or four times, it is just to give a context that it is much, much bigger than the material world. So from where do we come to know about this three-fourth proportion? We come to know from these words that appear in scriptures, ek pad vibhuti and tripad vibhuti. Ek pad vibhuti means is ek, one, pad is feet or foot. So ek pad vibhuti and tripad vibhuti. Tripad vibhuti is spiritual world. Sometimes spiritual world be called as tripad vibhuti in scriptures. In 15th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, material world is also compared to Ashwatha, the banyan tree. But Ashwa also means horse. Ashwatha. So sometimes if you have observed horses carefully, although they have four legs, but many times they stand on three legs. And one leg is hanging in the air, little bit. The horse is not taking support of the fourth leg many times. That leg sometimes hangs also in the air. So creation is also compared to this three and one leg of horse. The three legs of horse is the stable place, the spiritual world. And material world is like that one hanging leg of the horse, which is not stable, which is not permanent. Ashwatha. That is also one of the meaning of Ashwa. Ashwa is horse. So Ekapad Vibhuti is that one leg which is hanging, and Tripad Vibhuti means the three legs which are stable, the permanent place. Now, does spiritual world really exist? That question may come. Many times we keep saying people that I'm going back home, back to Godhead. I want to go back home, back to Godhead. People will say, "Oh, this is all just fantasy, some imagination all of you people have." So, what gives you faith that your spiritual world does exist, or how will you able to convince people uh, that your spiritual world does exist? It is not just some imagination, some fantasy place that we have created, like people have
तो
created
जो
this.
भगवत गीता में कृष्णा is saying
Correct. So first
that
thing,
Bhagavatam also
scriptures.
describes.
So for one of the thing is, yes, scriptures do very clearly mention that spiritual world does exist. Hmm. परतस्मात् भावन्यो व्यक्तो व्यक्तः सनातनः यः स सर्वेषु भूतेषु नश्यत्सु न विनश्यति. Uh, there is another higher spiritual nature of mind, the mode of mind, which does not get destroyed when this material world is destroyed. So Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, and then uh, Srimad Bhagavatam and many other scriptures, they do mention about existence of a place which is beyond this material realm. Any other reasons why do we put faith, or why what can boost our faith that yes, there should be a spiritual world. Vaikuntha should be there. It is not just some um, fantasy land we have created, uh, like that of Harry Potter or Disneyland. So many places are there in material world. People so okay, you have your Disneyland, we have our spiritual world. Something like that. Yes, Yashmi.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. So the Srimad Bhagavatam in fifth canto it elaborately explains how the material world and spiritual world is. So like as a human being we don't have clear idea that how this world was created. It's all speculation, but scriptures give us the clear like proper knowledge. So by this we can understand. And also Prabhuji, I think like in one of the books I've read that anti-material world. Even the scientists they are proclaiming that antimaterial world exists right now. So they also have this idea that there is something beyond this universe. So
Correct. So there are many scientific studies also going on in this field, although by sense perception it is not possible to find out about existence of spiritual world. न तद्भासयते सूर्यो न शशांको न पावकः. It is very difficult to see the spiritual world, to think of spiritual world, to describe spiritual world. But mm, if you see from scientific point of view, the creation is uh, huge, huge. We just cannot imagine. We are the amount of space that our Earth has occupied is like practically infinitesimal, and like negligible space. And spiritual world is so material world itself is a very very big place, and we have not explored everything. Then how can we say that spiritual world does not exist? It's a vast space out there, and there are so many discoveries which people are coming up with. Very strange phenomena they have been observing, which is beyond our um, ability to conceive or understand. Mm. Like the black holes, the black matter, white matter, dark matter, so many kinds of matter. There's, no laws are applicable there, all laws fail there, and so many things like that. So we should not be in this narrow-minded understanding that okay, if something is like this earth, then only life exists there. There are places which are uh, it's like beyond our imagination, even in this material world. So some scientists they do feel that there has to be another anti-material world. Like Prabhupada writes about this in Easy Journey to Other Planets. But matter and antimatter is that like one simple thing we can suggest, just like in a magnet, there cannot be only North Pole. There has to be a South Pole. In a battery, there cannot be only positive, there has to be negative also. So this world is a place of duality. There is day, night, there is cold, there is heat, there is darkness, there is light, there is plus, there is minus, there is no North Pole, South Pole. Same way. If there is matter, there has to be a corresponding anti-material world, antimatter. Uh, Otherwise, this place will not exist. That is like, this is just some theories some scientists have been speculating. But when you understand, it's a huge creation, it's a vast place with too much variety. And just by sitting in our own home, we cannot come to a conclusion that spiritual world does not exist. Vaikuntha does not exist. Okay, any other thoughts? Yes, Ratan Kapal.
Hare Krishna, Pranam. Prabhuji, sometimes am I audible, Prabhuji?
Yes.
Hmm. So sometimes we see that there are loving reciprocations between the devotees. So that when we see that, then it definitely I heard that this is a replica of Vaikuntha. So from that, it's sure that it exists coming from spiritual world. So when we see the reciprocation here, so we for sure it is coming from spiritual world.
Okay, interesting point. See, one thing is, whatever needs we have, they have been fulfilled, or a facility to fulfill those needs is there in creation. So we feel hungry and there is food available. We feel thirsty, there is water available. We need air and there is air available. So we also want love, and there is some love available in this world, but there has to be a place because we are looking for a place with unlimited love. Even that kind of place is there because such place does exist. We are actually hankering for it. We do hanker for a place with unlimited love, uh, very sweet relationships, and that is because such a place exists. We are longing to go to such a place like that. So yes, yes, no.
So, Prabhuji, basically that why we believe or we have faith that spiritual world exists is that because like we are hearing from the Guru Shishya Parampara that is coming from the Acharyas, and um, so we have seen that as a scientist, their theories keep on changing every time, but the knowledge which we are receiving through this uh, disciplic succession, it is constant and always applicable in all the times. And our scriptures, our mother also tell us the same thing. Yeah.
Okay, so scriptures are like mother. Anyways, we cannot know about father without knowing from mother. That is the only way, practical way to know about it. And Haridas Priya also is, I think, same thing that past acharyas, present acharyas have told us. Just one more extension to this point mentioned by Sanatan Gopal Prabhu is that uh, this world, when we see relationships and the need for various rasas that we have, that is a perverted reflection. So there has to be original place from where it is coming, and that's how points out to some place which is described as spiritual world. Yes, Siddesh.
Hare Krishna, bro. Bro, Lord Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, right, that yada yada hi dharma, so that I come here in the material world. So from where Lord Krishna is coming. So we can
Correct,
say that it's a spiritual world he's coming from.
correct. So if Lord is coming, from where is coming? He has to have a place from where is coming. So there has to be a spiritual world. Also, soul is uh, antimatter, anti-material. Soul is not material, not made up of material elements. So if we are something that is not uh, made up of this material world, then where a soul has come from? From what is the origin of the spiritual substance which we are? So soul also has to have some origin from where it has come. Uh, and Krishna also has to have a place from where he has come. That is a spiritual world. Also, there has been a longing for something very fantastic, something very out of the world, something very blissful. So, and that longing is because such a place does exist. And if you do not put faith in spiritual world, then people will try to create some fantastic world. That's how they come up with Spider-Man, Batman, He-Man, so many wonderful places. But if we can take shelter of scriptures, understand that such a place does exist, and redirect our love and attraction to such a place, then yes, we will be able to go back to such a place. Anyone last point? What gives you strong conviction or faith that spiritual world
Prabhu,
exists?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yes, Mataji.
Uh, Prabhu, we can also say that if we are not able to see it, it doesn't mean it doesn't exist there.
Correct.
Because if sun is there always, but if you are not able to see the sun is still there. The atoms and the cells, we are not able to see it, but still it is there present.
Correct. So just because we cannot see, that doesn't mean it does not exist. Even in material world, even on our Earth planet, there are so many places which are a big mystery. Some people are not able to resolve the mysteries of some places in this world itself. So what to say of a place beyond this matter. So there can be so many reasons like this, and we have to have full faith that when we are going to discuss about Vaikuntha, it is not just some imagination, some theoretical place. It does exist. It is actually there, and we should be preparing ourselves to go back to such a place. And not just Sanatan Dharma. So many other traditions also have been speaking about it. Christianity speaks about it, Islam speaks about it. So many religions are speaking. Even in the umbrella of Sanatana Dharma, so many different sampradayas have been speaking about it. So it's not some creation of ISKCON devotees. Okay, there is spiritual world, something like that. So every religion, they understand that no, this is not the place which we belong to. We belong to some place much better than this place. Okay, name of this thing, soul is immortal and we are in material body. We want to stay immortal, and that can be fulfilled in the spiritual world. Perfect. Shyam says, "Well, most of these fantasy lands are also using the same conception given in Shastras." Yes. Like shadow of the tree in the water, reflection of the correct. So this world is like a shadow. There has to be original place. In Sangar Goswami, we have heard examples of acharyas who can see the spiritual world. They have given description of the spiritual world. And acharya like Tukaram Maharaj, they have gone back to spiritual world. So there has to be such a place. So yeah. So Vaikuntha Janeto, and that is an unlimited place, extremely opulent place, uh, which actually cannot be described by words. And another meaning of Vaikuntha, Prabhupada would say, is a place where there is no anxiety. Kuntha means anxiety, Vaikuntha means a place where there is no anxiety. Now, someone may feel the anxiety is required, otherwise, how will we experience the happiness of peace? Correct? Some people feel this. Unless you go through miseries, you cannot appreciate the happiness so well. So, if there is a place where there is no anxiety, will we not get bored? Will we not just feel, what should I do here? That is one of the reasons Vrindavan is higher than Vaikuntha, because that is a place of anxiety. That's a place. Surely it is not a material anxiety, but there is another level of anxiety, another kind of anxiety. The anxiety to serve Krishna, anxiety to meet Krishna, and anxiety of separation from Krishna, things like that. So, uh, Vaikuntha is surely an amazing place, which is described in the Good Bhagavatamrita and Brahma Samhita, and so many places. There is so much description where people are. Um, you can actually look like Lord Narayan, with four-handed form, and you have your own airplane, charter plane, without any bills to be paid, and you don't have to wash your clothes because everything is so neat and clean and fragrant there. You can take any form which you like for serving Lord, and the opulence with one person in the Vaikuntha is more than the opulences of hundreds of universes in material world together. Sometimes we see photos or videos of some very rich people on this planet. They show, my Lord, what kind of home they have, what kind of car they have, what kind of jewelries these people have. And imagine all the wealth and all the opulence on Earth planet combined together. What a place that would be. And you combine hundreds of universes like this, more opulent than that is one person in Vaikuntha. That one airplane and the ornaments and the wealth that he has is more than hundreds of universes combined together on this matter. Such is the place. And after hearing about such a place, one should be longing to go to such a place. And uh, it should not just remain a theoretical description for us. Just like if you read about such a place in material world or you see some photos, we feel like going, oh, I want to go there. Let me go there. Next vacation, we visit this place. That's how we plan. Same way when we read about spiritual world, when we hear about spiritual world, a great longing should appear in our heart when we like go and witness such a place and serve my dear Lord in such a place. So Vaikuntha Janito Vara Madhupuri. But more uh, important or better than Vaikuntha is the Mathura Mandal. Even the Bhauma Vrindavan, Mathura Mandal, which we see on the map of India, that is higher than Vaikuntha in the spiritual world. Now, this can be a bit bewildering, is it not? Because when we go to Mathura, we have very different experiences. Sometimes some people may try to cheat us, sometimes we may have some accident, sometimes so many issues may come. And how can that place be higher than Vaikuntha? Yes, any guess? Just to excite us, just to make us more serious, Rupa Goswami is writing. Hey, more important than that, Vaikuntha is Mathura here. Go there and serve there. Why is this Mathura considered better than the Vaikuntha in the spiritual world?
Easily accessible.
Perfect. Hari bol. That is one of the reasons. That is one of the reason. Lord says, you have heard this verse? Naham vasami vaikunthe yoginam hridayeshu va yatra gayanti madbhakta tatra tishtami narada. Lord Narada is telling, Naham vasami vaikunthe. Is this literally true? If he is not residing in Vaikuntha, then what all the souls are doing in the spiritual world if he does not stay there? Naham vasami vaikunthe. Yogi nam hridayeshuva. I do not reside in the hearts of the yogis also. Is that really true? If he is not there in the hearts of yogis, where is he? When Lord is saying, I am not in the spiritual world, naham vasami vaikunthe. I am not there in the yogi's heart, which basically means he's there, but he is not accessible to us. But he is very easily accessible. Yatra gayanti mad bhakta tatra tishtami narada. Wherever my devotees are chanting my glories and they are practicing devotional service, I become easily accessible to them. So that is one of the reasons why Mathura, Puri is higher than the Vaikuntha in the spiritual world. Any other? Okay, Akhilesh Mati is saying to have loving exchanges. So the level of loving exchanges are much deeper, much higher in Mathura. That way, Mathura is higher than the Vaikuntha in the spiritual world. Okay, Amit is saying Lord Himself chose to appear in this material world in Mathura. That's how Mathura is higher. So there is a more rasa, there is higher, and as Rupa Goswami explains, because Lord chose to appear, Janito. So these two kinds of pastimes, they do not exist in spiritual world. The birth of Lord does not exist in spiritual world. Janma Leela happens only in material world. And the childhood pastime, especially of killing the demons, that does not exist in the Vaikuntha. That is not there in the spiritual world. These two pastimes happen only in material world. The Janma Leela and uh, all this Asur Vad Leela. So, because demons do not exist in spiritual world, devotees sometimes can take forms of demons for sake of Leela, but there is no killing of a demon or there is no genuine demon there who is to be killed by the Lord. Okay, Shivangi Mach is saying that in Vaikuntha 400 form of Narayana exists, but in Mathura, Lord himself resides. Very true. So, such a Lord, he prefers to appear in Mathura. So, this is one level of understanding. That is what is described by Srila Prabhupada also, that Mathura in this material world is higher than the Vaikuntha in the spiritual world. But another meaning we can also take is the Vaikuntha in the spiritual world. In that realm, Vaikuntha itself, there is another higher Vaikuntha, which is Mathurapuri. Higher than that is Vrindavan. Higher than that is Govardhan. All this in spiritual world. Higher than that is Radha Kund. All this is spiritual. That is another understanding. So there Vaikuntha also means Dwarka, or we can say Ayodhya. So have you seen sometimes the Goloka chart? There is Vaikuntha. In Vaikuntha, you will see Dwarka, there is Ayodhya. Higher than those places is Mathura because of the higher rasas, the deeper pastimes. Higher than Mathura is Vrindavan. Higher than that is Govardhan. Higher than that is Radhakund. Like that. Or we can say higher than that Vaikuntha is the Mathura here because Krishna himself came. He is belonging to appear there. And Janma Leela happens only in this Mathura. That does not happen in Vaikuntha. Somebody may say, can we have this kind of hierarchy comparison between the different Vaikunthas? Is this not offense? Comparing one dham to another dham and saying this dham is better than another dham? Will not this fall in one of the 10 or 11th dham aparad? This question may come. Will that not be offensive if you say, oh, Vaikunta is okay, that is great, but Mathura is better. Vrindavan is still better, Govardhan is still better. Will that not be offensive? Because a devotee who belongs to Ayodhya will say Ayodhya is best. Correct? You know the past time when Hanumanji was called once by Lord Krishna, the Garuda went and gave message to Hanumanji that Krishna is calling you. Hanuman said, okay, I'm coming. Garuda went back, but Hanumanji did not reach. Hanumanji was not that eager. Then Lord said, hey, why he has not come? Garuda said, I don't know why he has not come. Lord asked, what did you tell him? He said, Krishna is calling you. He says, this is a mistake you did. He said, you have to tell Ram is calling you. So Garuda went and told Hanumanji that, hey, Sri Ram is calling you. So before Garuda could reach, Hanumanji picked up Garuda, he kept him on his back, and he reached to the Lord. Hey, oh my Lord, you called me. What is the service for me? So if you tell Lord Ram, then he's like willing to give everything. He is super eager, supreme eager person to serve Lord Ram. But when it comes to Krishna, he says, okay, I'll come. आता हूँ सेवा करने आता हूँ. So this is because of rasa. So if you tell Hanumanji that Vaikundha Janito Vara Madhupuri, that Ayodhya is okay, that is great, but Mathura is greater. So will not he feel offended? Vishamshu is saying only if one considers other lower and disregards its glories. Okay, correct. So when this hierarchy is given, that is not in terms of tattva. It is only in terms of rasa. It is only in terms of rasa. When we say this devotee is better, that devotee is better, actually all devotees are best. It is like mm, best, better, best, something like that. They all are best, all are good. Only in rasa we say, sometimes we say Radharani is higher than Krishna. Krishna is servant of Radharani. This is not true tattva wise. Tattva wise, Krishna is the supreme. It's, supreme personality of Godhead. But in Leela, in rasa, from the point of view of rasa, he becomes subordinate to his devotees. So, like father is stronger or a child? Who is stronger generally? The father or the child? And no one is speaking anything.
Father, Prabhuji. Father.
Father is stronger,
In material
but
world, it depends on the age of both of them.
father initially possibly depends on the age also. Yeah, so especially when the child is small and father is a grown-up person. So yeah, father physically is more stronger, but who is controlling whom? The father is being controlled by the child or child is being controlled by father? Small baby, very small baby, infant, 3 months old.
The child controls everyone at home.
Everyone actually, everyone is controlling around. So tattva wise, yes, father is stronger, but rasa from rasa point of view, out of the love that people have, the child becomes stronger. He is able to control. He says, Papa, I want to have a ride. And Papa may be a prime minister, but Papa will also bend down and give a ride on his shoulder to the 3 months old baby. Like that. So when we say this dham is better, that dham is better, it is not, we are not trying to uh, tell anything negative, or we don't have any negative outlook toward any dham, but we are just saying from rasa point of view, a dham which is giving more pleasure to Krishna, a dham which is more dear to Krishna becomes higher. Also, we have to understand that from the point of view of rasa, when Hanumanji feels Ayodhya is best, it's like he will always feel Ayodhya is best. Even if you tell him the glories of Radha Kund and Vrindavan, he will hear it and say, okay, Jai Shri Ram, he'll go back to Ayodhya and serve there. Because that is his mood of serving Lord. So he is fully satisfied. It's not that after hearing about Radha Kund, he will feel maybe I'm having something less. Just like we were told in the beginning days of spiritual life that there is a small um, bowl, you have katori kind of thing, and that you fill with water. And there is a big glass that is filled with water, and there is a bucket which is filled with water. There is a big tub which is also filled with water. There's swimming pool which is also filled with water. There is a lake which is filled with water. All are filled. All are fully satisfied. Although the capacity of holding water is different. One may have capacity of only a glass full of water. Another will be bucket full of water. There will be a swimming pool full of water. The capacity is different, but everyone is fully satisfied like that. So now, which kind of person would you like to be with generally? A person who is always very formal, mm, who doesn't show any mistake anytime, who doesn't become angry anytime, who doesn't crack any jokes anytime. He's always very grave, always very dhira, gambhir, and always very smiling. Perfect person. No. And things go very smooth, very perfect. Or another person. Shamjan was writing second person even before hearing the description. The second person is a person who is quite funny. Sometimes he'll play some tricks, some pranks, sometimes some jokes, sometimes he'll speak lies also. Sometimes he'll cheat you also. Sometimes he'll play with you, and there is a lot of adventure and uncertainty with such a person. So how many of you will prefer to be with second person? Please raise your hand. Oh, some of them, most of them. It's little risky life with such a person, but yeah, there is great fun, there is great adventure. And generally people will feel little, dull with the first kind of person. So always at a high pedestal, you always have to look up to him and just serve him and pray to him. And he's perfect master. There's no problem with him. He's perfect person, perfect master. But you cannot have a very, like funny kind of relationship or sometimes some informality. So no, some people will be there who will prefer the first one, and yes, Vaikuntha is there. So it's perfect. There's nothing wrong about it. But then Lord some becomes a little more informal, and he'll also speak lies. He'll do some tricks. He'll have some fun. So that is a place in Mathura. More naughty than that is Vrindavan, and more naughty than that is Govardhan, and the most naughty than that is in Radhakund. So how all that also we will see. This is the hierarchy, and this is what one we all are actually longing for. And this is what we are longing for, and that is what is there in Krishna. We just have to understand it, realize it, and start pursuing that relationship very seriously with him. So when we do this comparison, that is from rasa point of view, not from the point of view of tattva. From tattva point of view, all these places are perfect. They are not having any material tinge. There is no anxiety. There is no envy. There is no material element or any negativity in any of these places. They are eternally liberated places. Like that. But from rasa point of view, there is more intimacy and there is more sweetness in the dham which we are calling as higher. There's more intimacy and there is more sweetness like that. So, okay, let us read now further. Actually, the appearance of a Lord also is something very special and very, very pleasing. Mm. There are so many Vaishnava acharyas who have written volumes and volumes of books just describing Janma Leela of Lord Sri Krishna. When Lord appeared, what all things happened, how Bhumi became very pleased, how Yamuna started becoming ecstatic, how the wind was ecstatic, how the demigods were feeling so blessed. Mm. How the plants and trees and seasons they have become so joyful. So it's like another level of ecstasy, which the acharyas have described. So that way Mathura is a very special place with very special rasa that every being in Mathura experienced when Lord appeared. But one thing that was lacking in Mathura was the Madhurya Leela, the topmost of the rasas. Again, these rasas, when we say higher, it is Tattva point of view, everyone is a servant. Everyone is in the mood of servant. Jiva is served by Krishna Nitya Das. But from the point of view of the amount of pleasure that is derived from the relationship, uh, and the amount of pleasure that Krishna derives from the relationship, that particular rasa is called as higher. So amongst all this, Madhurya rasa is the highest. And those Madhurya Leelas, they happen only in Vrindavan, not in Mathura. So I'm reading further. Prabhupada writes, the interior forests of Vrindavan are considered superior to Mathura because of the presence of the 12 forests, Dwadash one, such as Talavan, Madhuvan, Bahulavan, which are famous for the various pastimes of the Lord. So there were pastimes in Mathura, it was more of a Vatsalya ras, but in Vrindavan there was also Sakhya ras, Vatsalya ras, and Sakharas. In Sakhas also there were various types of sakhas who would give different kinds of pleasure to Krishna, who would assist him in different kinds of pastimes. And there is also Madhurya Leela. Thus, the interior Vrindavan forest is considered superior to Mathura. But superior to these forests is the divine Govardhan Hill because Krishna lifted Govardhan Hill like an umbrella, raising it with his lotus like beautiful hand to protect his associates, the denizens of Vraja, from the torrential rain sent by the angry Indra, king of the demigods. It is also at Govardhan Hill that Krishna tends the cows with his cowherd friends. And there also he had his rendezvous with his most beloved Sri Radha and engaged in loving pastimes with her. Radha Kund at the foot of Govardhan is superior to all because it is there that love of Krishna overflows. Advanced devotees prefer to reside at Radha Kund because this place is a site of many memories of the eternal loving affairs between Krishna and Radharani, Rati Vilas. In Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Lila, it is stated that when Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu first visited the area of Brajabhumi, he could not at first find the location of Radha Kund. This means that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was actually searching for the exact location of Radha Kund. Finally, he found the holy spot, and there was a small pond there. He took his bath in that small pond and told his devotees that the actual Radha Kund was situated there. Later, the pond was excavated by Lord Chaitanya's devotees, headed first by the six Goswamis such as Rup and Raghunath Das. Presently, there is a large lake known as Radha Kund there. Srila Rupa Goswami has given much stress to Radha Kund because of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's desire to find it. Who then would give up Radha Kund and try to reside elsewhere? No person with transcendental intelligence would do so. The importance of Radha Kund, however, cannot be realized by other Vaishnava Sampradayas, nor can persons uninterested in the devotional service of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu understand the spiritual importance and divine nature of Radha Kund. Thus, Radha Kund is mainly worshipped by the Gaudiya Vaishnavas, the followers of Lord Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Now, Vrindavan is higher because the pastime of Ras Leela took place there. Now, Ras Leela is one of the most misunderstood pastimes. Many people question what is this? Like one of the famous politician, one of the leader of Indian politics, he told that if Ras Leela actually happened, if it did happen, then I feel ashamed to call myself a Hindu or Sanatani. He said that I prefer Lord Ram better because he fits into all the moral codes of conduct. But Krishna is very difficult to accept because of the Ras Leela pastimes. Now, it is important for us to understand that this Ras Leela was not so much about the physical interaction, but it is more about the emotional exchanges, the living exchanges between Lord and his devotees. That is the most important feature of Ras Leela. And that's what actually happens in the relationships also. And the physical attraction in uh, uh, boy and a girl fades away very soon after some time. Initially, there may be lot of infatuation, but the physical attraction actually fades away very soon. And what actually gives happiness is the living exchanges, the emotional bonding, the emotional exchanges that people have with each other. And when this Ras Leela happened, that is also something very higher because the gopis, they're the topmost devotees, which will be described in the next verse of Upadeshamrit. And they have exhibited uh, very pure loving devotional service. Very, very pure, where they were not wanting to have anything for themselves. And that makes Vrindavan very special because the pastime of Sharadiya Ras, the Sharad Purnima Rasila that happened in the night, which is described in Srimad Bhagavatam. What happened is Krishna in the midnight is playing the flute, and all the gopis they left everything. They left their family, they left their husbands, children, their wealth, their homes, practically everything they left and came to the forest to please Krishna. And after they all have assembled, after playing the flute, Krishna says, "Now please go back." And that's like this is too much, you know. Now we have left everything for you. Now we have come up to the point of your surrendering fully to, and now you say go back. And gopis, they kind of surrendered to it. So this was the biggest test because when someone whom you love most, and for whom you sacrifice everything, and that person sacrifices you, that becomes like most difficult to tolerate. And the gopis, they did not give up their love because of this. Okay, if you're rejecting us, we also reject you. Correct? That's the natural response in relationships. Hmm? You are rejecting me. What will I do? I'll also reject you. But gopis did not reject Krishna. They continued to remain mad in love of Krishna. And even in the Ras Leela, when Krishna disappeared in between, they became like frantically searching for him, like a fish out of water. Is very, very eager to go back to water. Like that, the gopis are searching for him. A person who has been betraying them again and again. They're still so mad, so crazy after him. So that way, Vrindavan is a place where uh, we see a very high platform of bhakti exhibited by the topmost of the devotees. That way, Vrindavan is a place which gives much, much more pleasure to Krishna than uh, the pastimes that happen in Mathura, like that. But why Govardhan is considered higher than Vrindavan? What can be a place higher than Vrindavan? Because Vrindavan is a place of Ras Leela. If you know this Damodar Ashtakam that we sing, Namo Radhikaye Tvadiya Priyaye, Namo Ananta Leelaya Devaya Tubhyam. Satyavrat Muni is giving his petition, a mercy appeal to Lord Krishna And he understood that appealing on my own will not be sufficient. Some very Lord's heart has to melt when he reads my appeal. Only when his heart melts will he become merciful to me. And to make Lord uh, 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 I would say to make him kind of forget himself in love or in ecstasy, he mentions name of Radharani. Namo Radhikaye Toriya Priyaye. That when he reads name of Radharani, his heart will become extremely soft and he'll become merciful. And he says Namo Ananta Leelaya Devaya Tubhyam. And he also mentions Ananta Leela, which is Ras Leela. So he mentions Ras Leela and Radharani, that hearing of these two, Krishna will become very, very soft and he will become merciful. But what can be higher than this? Why Govardhan is considered higher than this?
Because Prabhupada mentions that in the purport that Krishna lifted Govardhan for 7 days. That's one. So touch of Krishna for continuously 7 days. And second, all the devotees took shelter under Govardhan and there were loving exchanges.
Correct? Yes. So Udara Pani Ramanat. Krishna is Udara Pani. On his broad Pani means hand, arms. He lifted Govardhan here. In Vrindavan, the pastimes which would happen, they would happen only for some time. Like morning, Krishna is going. So different devotees would get exchange with Krishna only for some time. But Govardhan is that place where they were together for 7 days, 7 nights. There was no separation. There's complete union of all the rasas. There were sakhas, there were parents, and there are also gopis, and there are also conjugal rasas. Everything was there. So that way, Govardhan is a very, very special place which brought all the devotees together, and they were in desperate mood of experiencing relationship with Krishna that time. Okay, something's on chat. Okay, Amit was saying Govardhan, Lord spent most of his time with his friends, demonstrated Sakyaras. Yes, but Madhuraras is higher than Sakyaras. Krishna spent most of his day on Govardhan with cowherd boys. Okay, Yashodhama is in Sakyaras. So many devotees know Govardhan as a place of Sakyaras. But
Prabhuji, Govardhan provides for the cows, which is which are like Krishna's favorite.
yeah, Krishna's favorite is cows or Radharani or gopis. Who is higher or more dear?
uh,
Hare
Yeah,
Krishna
cows
Prabhuji.
are more in, say, Dasyaras or I don't know, Shantiras or whatever. Surely, we have heard these kind of descriptions a lot, and that Govardhan is providing for the cows, the grass, and the caves, and the cowherd boys and friends, and the play around, and so many things. And very special pastime happened 7 days, 7 nights. No one experienced any separation. Otherwise, in the morning, Yashoda is with Krishna, and then Krishna goes for herding the cows. And that time, friends are with Krishna, and gopis are feeling separation. Evening, Krishna is coming back. When he comes back, then friends are feeling separation. The gopis are happy. So all this separation and union would happen, but Govardhan is a place where everyone came together. But something more happened at Govardhan. Yes, Suyesh.
Prabhuji, of course, Krishna performed Ras Leela in Vrindavan, but more confidential or more intimate, I think Ras Leela was performed on Govardhan, and also I think Balramji also performed uh, Ras Leela on Govardhan.
Perfect. Haribol. So a very confidential uh, Dasila also happened at Govardhan. So a lot of Madhurya Leela pastimes also would happen in Govardhan. One of them was the Dana Leela. You know Dan Ghati in Govardhan? So Dan Ghati, Raghunath Das Goswami has written Dana Keli Kaumudi. This Dan Keli Kaumudi is filled with so many exchanges between gopis and Krishna. It's filled with Madhurya Rasa. Where every time he would ask for tax, and it was much more deep, much more like a lot of fighting back and forth and chastising each other. And it was not a plain Madhuri Lila like in Vrindavan. As all of you said, you want someone who is little less formal sometimes or all the time. So so that kind of relationship gopis would experience a lot because Krishna, you would see gopis are carrying butter and so many milk products, and the cowherd boys they would say, okay, let us stop them. And let us ask for taxes, and they would ask for taxes. They would take all the butter, and many deep, many intimate pastimes also would happen with gopis in this Dan Leela. So so that way, Govardhan is a place where all these very elevated pastimes, which generally a conditioned soul is not very qualified to uh, meditate on or discuss, but those pastimes happen in Govardhan. One of the Acharya gives meaning of Udara Pani. Udar is broad, Pani is hand. Udara Pani Ramanad, Krishna on his broad hand lifted Govardhan hill. But another Acharya gives Udara Pani meaning is, any guess? The Pani means hand. Pani Grahan Samskar is there. Anybody knows? What is Pani Grahana Samskar? Vivaha. Okay, so what is Udara Pani? Any guess? Very broad hand he gives in marriage. Or he was very broad-minded in giving his hand in marriage to anyone, to any gopi who desires. Udara Pani, Ramanath also means he was very udar, very broad-minded in giving his hand in Madhurya Ras to the gopis. So many devotees have expressed desire to marry Lord Ram, the sages of the Dandekar, and the Lord said, sorry, in this lifetime it is not possible. In this avatar, Leela, it is not possible. Aikapatni Vrat. But as Krishna, I fulfill everyone's desire. And he was Udara Pani Ramanath. He was very openly accepting marriage proposals from all the gopis. So that way, everyone got their desires fulfilled at Govardhan. And also, Dam Keli first times happened. Then Siddheshwar has told Govardhan is originated from the heart of Lord Himself. If you see uh, the birth of Govardhan in the spiritual world, we cannot say birth, but appearance of Govardhan in the spiritual world, it actually happened from the heart of the Lord, or sometimes I've heard of Radharani. A very dear place they wanted, where they can have their very special sweet pastimes. That's how Govardhan actually appeared. So Govardhan surely has other rasas, but it is a very important place, very prominent place of Madhurya Leelas. Like there is one place in Govardhan called Manasi Ganga. What is special about Manasi Ganga?
Um, he from his thoughts, Ganga appeared there.
Yes. So, but what is this? What special pastimes
So actually,
happened
they
at
wanted
Manasi?
to go and take deep in Ganga. So
Correct.
then,
So Nanda Maharaj and all, they heard that pastime of Garuda carrying a snake, and as soon as the snake touched Manasi Ganga, he became 400 personality, liberated, and uh, that person got instantly liberated. Nanda Maharaj and the coward boys, when they heard this pastime, they also were packing up their bags to go and take bath in Ganga. Lord said Ganga is here only. He brought Ganga on the way. So, any other special thing about Manasi Ganga? So Manasi Ganga में जाओ पाप धुल जाएंगे. Like that they were saying. So you don't have to go to Ganga. Ganga is right here. But what is special of, see, Ganga is there everywhere in the North India, but the Manasi Ganga is very special. It's being situated at Govardhan Hill, and Gaudiya Vaishnava looks at Manasi Ganga from a different angle. He doesn't see Manasi Ganga with all this regular pastimes of पाप धुल जाएंगे. How does a Gaudiya Vaishnava look?
so generally, Prabhuji, Ganga is supposed to be originating from the lotus feet of the Lord. Uh,
Yes. So, but the Gaudiya Vaishnava who is not so much in the mood of awe and reverence, he doesn't see. Yes, Rohit Prabhu has told Nauka Vihar pastimes between the gopis and Krishna happened in Manasi Ganga. If you have gone to Govardhan Eco Village, In the Govardhan Parikrama, there is Mansi Ganga, and now also they have kept a Nauka there, and Krishna is there, and all the gopis are there, and this Nauka Vihar pastimes, the Nauka Vihar. And in that also, Krishna has performed many pastimes. Nauka Vihar pastimes where Krishna would become the boatman. I've heard this kind of pastimes. And the gopis are going, and he would suddenly, in the middle of uh, Manasi Ganga, Krishna would say, "Oh, there is a storm," and the boat is about to sink, so all of you have to throw all the butter pots out. And I've heard these pastimes. Huh? So, so many such pastimes where Krishna makes the gopis very desperate. Sometimes Krishna would become boatman, and he would say that, "Oh, my boat is very weak, and you want to cross Mansi Ganga, but only one gopi can come at a time. Not so many gopis can come." So that's how he would take every gopi in the middle, and in the middle the boat would shake. And so many such very deep pastimes they happen in Mansi Ganga. So that way Govardhan is a place also of Madhuri Lila, and as Sureshpur said, another Ras Lila happened there. And Balramji also had Ras Lila with his set of gopis. That way, Udara Pani Ramanat. Okay, then if this is the place, then why Radha Kund is so special? राधा कुंड में ऐसा क्या विशेष है जो गोवर्धन में भी नहीं?
Because that was the place where Gopi used to come to meet Krishna during night
Correct.
and discussion.
But other places also, right? But why Rasil happened in multiple places, Madhuri Lila happened many places. What is so special about Radha Kund?
Mm. Because Radha Kund is something which was filled with water of Mansi Ganga, and then Krishna also took bath in that.
Okay, correct. Krishna also took bath there. It is actually a lot of holy places had appeared. They brought, and Vasudeva Krishna said it was made by Radharani.
Yeah, it was made by
It is liquid form of Radharani.
from
So
from
Srimati Radharani is the topmost devotee, and her overflowing love in liquid form is available, is present, has appeared in this most holy place of Sri Radha Kund. So some acharyas have explained that, see, we Gaudiya Vaishnavas, although we are saying so much Krishna, 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 but we are not devotees of Krishna. Whose devotees we are? What is the meaning of Gaudiya? Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati explained. Vaishnavas means
Radharani.
devotees. Vaishnavas means devotees of Vishnu, and Karshnis, they are like devotees of Krishna. But Gaudiyas, he said, Gaudiyas are actually devotees of Radharani. So the devotees of Radharani, uh, our goal is actually to just assist and serve Srimati Radharani. And obviously, Radharani appears in our life as a sadhaka in the form of spiritual master. The spiritual master is representing both Balaramji, the Guru Tattva, and Srimati Radharani. So our most important goal is to serve them, assist them in their service to Shri Radha Krishna. So although Radharani is known as Vrindavaneshwari, she is the queen of Vrindavan, but so many pastimes would happen where it was very clear that she was not the owner of any place in Vrindavan. She was not actually the queen of Vrindavan. Otherwise, if she was a queen of Vrindavan, how could Krishna exact taxes from the gopis? Because whenever the gopis are going, the covered boys would come, the gopas would come and say, "Hey, wait. We have to give tax." To whom? To son of Nandaraj. The Nandaraj, uh, sorry, yeah, the Nandagaon and also the whole Govardhan area and also Vrindavan. The king is Nanda Maharaj, and the son of Nanda Maharaj is the rightful owner of this whole Braja. And because you are traveling from here, you are going from here to give taxes. So many times, some acharyas explained that many times Krishna and coward boys would keep taunting to Radharani and the gopis that this is our place. This is not your place. This is our place. And it is explained that Radharani always felt that I should have at least one place of my own, at least some place which belongs to me, which is owned by me, which is in my name. मेरा कुछ भी नहीं है. Nothing is mine, and what will happen? In time to come, people will forget. The topmost devotee of Krishna was given everything for serving Krishna, was giving maximum pleasure to Krishna. Should be forgotten. There is no place in her name. So thinking like this, he was always thinking, which can be that place? What can be that place? And somehow that pastime happened of killing of Varishtasur. And then the gopis said that, oh Krishna, now you are contaminated by sins because you have killed a bull, and now you have to get purified. And Krishna brings all the holy places, he takes bath there. And then Krishna tells that gopis, all of you are also contaminated because you sided with me. You sided with me, so you also are uh, contaminated by all the sins. You have to purify yourself. Take bath in my pond. Radharani says, no, not in your place. Now I'll create my own place. And the gopis, they started digging this very, very, not very, but the most holy place actually in the creation. And they said, we will fill this up from the waters of Mansi Ganga. But then Krishna requested, oh, please take this water from my kund. Gopi said, no, no, it is already contaminated because you have already taken bath there. We don't want that water. Then he says, no problem. I'll request all the holy rivers again to appear. And they will flood the kund that you have created. And that is the first time Radharani got a place of her own. That is the place where Krishna also requires permission to come in. In other places, just like Krishna is saying, Radharani, you need my permission to access any area. Radharani says, this is the place where you require permission to come in. And so Govardhan is also very special because that is the place where first time Radha and Krishna met together. The first time when they met uh, in the mood of this Madhurya Leela, the first exchange that happened was actually under the Govardhan hill. When that pastime of Indra attacking Brajvasis happened. Now in Radha Kund, when Radharani said, oh, this is my Kund, so that place is most dear to Krishna, even in Govardhan, because it belongs to Radharani. Her prem in the liquid form has appeared there. And in that place, when Radha Kund was created, one more Ras Leela happened. But that was only with one gopi, that was Srimati Radharani. So other places also Ras Leela has happened. Tatrapi Rasotsavat. But there were many other gopis. Although Radharani was the most special, which is explained that oh, when Krishna left everyone, he actually started going with one gopi. Yes, she was there. But in Radha Kund, the Ras Leela that happened, it was only between Srimati Radharani and Krishna. And this is a place where Krishna becomes subservient to Srimati Radharani. He also is wanting to serve the feet of Srimati Radharani. So that's how Radha Kund is that place where Krishna derives maximum pleasure in the creation. So a sadhaka who is wanting to attain Krishna prem, what will be a better place for him or for her than Radha Kund to practice devotional service, because that is a place where Lord becomes very merciful, and that is a place where you can get highest rasa, the experience of the highest rasa in the spiritual world. So in the previous verse, when Rupa Goswami said, Tishtan Vraje Tat Anuragi Jana Anugami, which is that place in Vraja one should recite? One should recite at Radha Kund. And not just recite at Radha Kund, but search for Anuragi Bhakta, someone who is having that spontaneous attachment, spontaneous love for Krishna, raga, anuga, bhakti, serve such a person and serve such a person, and getting trained under him, one can revive back, or one can attain Krishna prem in one's heart. So, how many of you want to go now to Shri Radha Kund? Any plan for yatra to Radha Kund? There are so many holy places just around Radha Kund also. All the 7 temples of Vrindavan are also there around Radha Kund. So many places. So we should just. So how many of you want to just go and stay there only and not come back? Should we buy a plot or some apartment? Instead of chanting Hare Krishna here in the metropolitan cities, should we not chant in Radha Kund? So much more bhakti we will get. Where should we practice our sadhana bhakti? In the cities or in Radha Kund? If we do not practice at Radha Kund, then we are not following this 9th verse. We will be unintelligent person.
Is it the place or it is the bhav, the purity by which we are doing it at any
Yeah,
place is important?
correct. So, but that's a good way to think that it's a consciousness, it's a state of consciousness or a bhav or a mood in which we should live.
And Prabhuji, I think Srila Prabhupada also mentioned in some places that though going and taking parikrama and everything, but we should not dip in Radha Kund, take a dip in Radha Kund.
That will come in the last verse. The last verse gives instruction that one should take bath.
Okay.
So we'll discuss about it. Surely we should not take dip without taking permission from the spiritual master. But yeah, that is a very important place. So if it was just a state of consciousness, Rupa Goswami could have mentioned that, oh, it is also a state of consciousness. So wherever you are, stay in the Radha Kund consciousness. Why does he mention to actually come there?
To seek blessings of all the acharyas which is there. Actually, there is a samadhi also, and there all the Raghunathas and other acharya have actually meditated there so that we can take blessings from them. That's the reason it is said that we should visit that place.
Yeah. So the point is, it is also important to visit such places. If we say, okay, this is a state of consciousness, we never have to visit, that is also not good. We surely have to visit such holy places. The same time, staying there longer is very risky right now, or it could be very risky at the stage where one's heart is not pure. So if we go and start reciting there, we will commit more offenses than the bhakti sukruti that we will accrue on our God. So after going there, what do we see? Do we see so many faults in Vrajavasis? Do we see it materially? And are we looking at all the hotels there around where I can stay, where I can eat, where I can have a peaceful, nice stay? Uh, so surely it's a place, the most holy place one should be aspiring to go. And it's good if one can visit there in the association of the spiritual master or as per the guidance of the spiritual master. Visit there, come back and carry that Radha Kund consciousness in one's heart. So, so what is that state of consciousness of Radha Kund that we should be living with? Manish Mother is saying our mission is not of a Bhajananandi, but of a Goshtianandi, following the footpath of Srila Prabhupada. Correct. So just preach and not think of Radha Kund or
Prabhuji, it is also a mode of service, actually, the ultimate service.
yes. So the most important thing is to perform selfless service. When we say, let me stay in the consciousness of Radha Kund. So what is the most prominent thing about the gopis is the selfless, most pure devotional service. The only thing they know is Krishna. The only desire they have is to please Krishna and not wanting anything for oneself. This is actually the mood. We should not think mood of Radha Kund is I also want to have some place in my name. That is the mood of Radha Kund. I also should no. Actually, Radharani, when she wants some place of her own, she knows if I have a place of my own, that will please Krishna most. So whatever she does it with the goal of pleasing Krishna, to the maximum. So constantly wanting to please Krishna, not knowing anything other than what activities of pleasing Krishna and not wanting anything for oneself. So this is the state of consciousness we should be living in. We should stay in the consciousness of the Goswamis who have shown through their life how actually we can live. The way Raghunath Das Goswami lived, the way Rupa Goswami lived, the way so many acharyas have been living uh, at the banks of Radhakund. In that consciousness we should live. And as Manisha Mataji rightly said, we should also want to share this with others. At the bank of Radhakund, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur gave instruction to Srila Prabhupada. Whenever you get money, print books. He could have told, Tishthan Vraje, Tadaduragi Janaduna, just stay here and practice spontaneous devotional service. He told, if you stay at Radhakund prematurely, he told about some Babajis that this Radhakund will become Narak Kund for you. Instead of taking you back to Golok Vrindavan, the same Radhakund will take you to Narak. If you stay here and get into sinful activities, staying at Radhakund, which is very easy, very much possible. So let us not just stay in this consciousness, also try to share this consciousness with others. Rath Yatra is coming, so many festivals are coming, Janmashtami is going to come. So we should utilize all these opportunities to give Krishna consciousness to others. Actually, that is the mood of Radharani. Wanting to bring other souls closer to Krishna and engage them in Krishna service. Not that I serve, but let me bring others and make them more dear to Krishna. So that is actually the mood of the gopis and mood of Radharani. So that way, Prabhupada has given us something very, very practical, how to stay in that Radha Kund consciousness is by trying to preach devotional service. Okay, we'll stop here. We have completed text 9. So next time we'll do text 10. And last text is about bathing in Radha Kund, which I've already discussed. May not take much time, but yeah, some things we'll discuss about it. I hope all of you are preparing for the exam. The Shloka test, the closed book exam, open book exams are coming up. Also cover up your missed classes. From the second week of August, we'll begin our next module of Shri Ishopanishad. So we'll stop here. If anybody has any question, they may stay back. Others, they may proceed if they're getting late. श्री उपदेशामृत की जय, श्री रूप गोस्वामी पाद की जय, श्री प्रभुपाद की जय, समवेत गौर भक्त वृंद की जय, निताय गौर प्रेमानंदी। हरे कृष्ण। Realization in answering questions. Yes, Vishnu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, we discussed like we have like more rasa in Vrindavan, Mathura, and the planets, Prabhuji. But I had one doubt, Prabhuji. Like in our conditioned stage, we have this tendency that more familiarity breeds contempt, or like we take it cheaply. So, is there a chance of a soul having like this in spirituality, spiritual world?
In the sense,
Like we
you're saying
may
that we
take,
may end up committing offense.
we may end up committing offense, or we may take Krishna very like cheaply, or like, or is it the cause we take Krishna cheaply, or we become envious and something like, and then we fall down like.
Mhm. See, it is explained that it's not that the personalities in spiritual world, they are not aware of Krishna's position, or that understanding that we are, part and parcel. Krishna is supreme, and that knowledge is absent. It's not like that. Knowledge is there, but the madhurya or the affection and love overpowers this understanding, because of which they don't act in the mode of awe and reverence. So this is described by, I think, Srila Jiva Goswami or some Acharya, by giving example that imagine there is a pot of ghee. So sometimes you will see there's a like glass bottle in which we keep ghee. In the summer, the ghee is like in the melted state. But when the weather becomes cold, the ghee becomes solidified. Now in summer, if you have some golden ornament inside that ghee pot, we can see very clear. In the middle portion, if in the bottle, if there is some golden ornament hanging. But in the winters, when the ghee becomes solidified, can we see that golden ornament clearly?
No, Prabhuji.
No. Hmm. So same way, the understanding or the knowledge about Krishna is that golden ornament in the middle of that ghee bottle. Because of the bhava that the devotees have for Krishna, it's like the frozen ghee. The knowledge is there, but it is not visible. In some cases, when there is great separation from Krishna and there is a lot of pain, sometimes it becomes like the ghee becomes melted and one is able to see the ornament inside. And they become aware of Krishna's supremacy. That's how we see in the Gopi Geet, the gopis, they're actually feeling that, oh, he's our lover, he's our dear person. They did not think of Krishna as God. When there was separation from Krishna, and the pain was very intense, but sometime they also started glorifying Krishna as Akhila Dehi Nam Antaratmadrik. Oh Krishna, you are super soul in everyone's heart. Hmm. Uh, what is that verse? Nandana Bhavan, Akhila Dehinam, Antaratmadrit. So for some time, that knowledge and that mode of awe and reverence may appear, but again it disappears. It's only for some time. So that understanding that Krishna is supreme is always there. That is never forgotten. Because of which one will never, one may do pastimes which may appear that, oh, one is offending Krishna, but actually one is doing out of pure love, and it actually pleases Krishna. But it's not that they will take him cheaply or something, but because that underlining thought is very clear. Anna khalu gopika nandana bhavan. Akhila dehi nam. Akhil dehi nam in all the world. Antaratmadrik. You are the super soul in everyone's heart. So because of this reason, they won't kind of offend Krishna anymore. And that surely never becomes a cause of the jivas fall down. Does it answer your question?
Yes, Prabhuji. So, like, there's no chance of offending or like
Yeah, yeah.
taking it cheaply
Yeah, because
ever.
the envy does not exist there. The anarthas, the avidya does not exist there. We have not experienced that kind of life. That's why we feel that, oh, that may happen. But that does not exist. Avidya or matsarta, that is not there.
Okay. Yes. Thank you.
Okay. Yes, sir.
Hare Krishna, Guruji. Guruji, my question is more related to the previous class that we had. So, like at this neophyte stage in my uh devotion, so whenever we chant, so what should we think? Because sometimes we hear we should focus on the words that we chant, like Hare Krishna, like each of the words. And many times we chant in the temple, sing the deities. So should we focus on deities or what? Like at this very beginning stage, what should be our focus?
There's no one rule for everyone. We all are very unique, very different. We all are having different minds, so you need to see what works for you. But thing is, you should be able to, Prabhupada says, we should be able to hear the holy name at least. So the least thing should be, you should be able to hear what you are chanting. Rupa Goswami, we will discuss about this in Bhakti Samrit Sindhu. He says, Japa is Sulagucharo. It has a very soft utterance of the name. So just enough for one's own uh, being able to hear. It's not that everyone should be able to hear around you. So japa is a soft utterance, and main thing is it should be here, and but it should not remain a mechanical activity. One also has to, as I've told earlier, sneha samyukta now, means to chant with affection, chant with feelings, chant with a prayerful attitude. Oh Krishna, oh Srimati Radharani, please engage me in your service to serve you. And you don't have to consciously think this mood can be in the beginning, and then you start chanting slowly, these moods will also come. So if you focus too much on the mood, you may get distracted from hearing the holy name. If you're only focused mechanically hearing, then mood may not be there. But eventually, we need to do it like simultaneously. It should happen where we have that underlining. Like when we are chanting, we actually have a consciousness. I am Saurabh. I'm an IT engineer and I'm working in this company. That mood is there. It's not that separately we think of this and separately that consciousness is there. Same way, that consciousness should be the oh, I'm a devotee. And I want to go back to Krishna, to serve Krishna, to please Krishna. And in that mood, with the underlining mood, one has to hear the holy name, chant and hear the holy name. And now looking at the deities, if that is helping you to hear the holy name properly, you may do that. Some people may look at the mantra and chant. Some people close eyes. Some people, and whatever environment helps you focus, can do that. And so there is no one formula for everyone, and there's no one formula that will work for us all the time. Sometimes we'll have to chant differently. Sometimes his mind is very crazy thing. We need to um, keep our endeavors very dynamic and not get settled with anything, because we get settled with something, mind will again cheat you and put you in mechanical mode there also.
Okay. Yeah. So the least requirement while chanting is we should at least hear the names that we are chanting.
Yes.
Okay, Prabhuji.
Like that.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Okay, then we'll stop. Thank you all for joining. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Samaveta Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanandi.